Hello, my name is Benjamight, and in this video, I'm going to show you how much I made in 2020 with my small niche gaming channel. Let's do this. So why do I say Dofus is a small niche category? Well, if you haven't ever heard of the game Dofus, I wouldn't blame you. It's actually based out of France and has a huge French community following it. However, there is also a very hungry English/international community that is also following the game, but it is substantially smaller. So my channel is centered around the English side of the Dofus community, which makes it a smaller segment of a small segment, bringing credibility to the fact that I do have a small niche gaming channel. I say that because perhaps you have a small niche gaming channel of your own, or perhaps you're thinking about starting one in that category. Although I would never recommend you start a YouTube channel with money being the focus of your intention, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make a little bit of money off of it. The thought that you could play something that you really enjoy and love and make a little bit of cash on the side sounds like a win-win in any gamer handbook that I'm aware of. So I started my channel September 24th, 2019. That night, I plugged in my PlayStation 4 headset into my PC, started talking to myself while looking at a monitor with no camera, and 4 days later, I uploaded my very first video. Hello, and welcome to my very first Dofus Let's Play video. In fact, this is my very first YouTube video on my channel here. Hopefully the first of many episodes. This team you're seeing here on screen is the team I plan to use to get to level 200. But instead of just grinding my way there and shooting for achievements and stuff, we're gonna try and go through the main quest line. Fast forward about 2 months and 21 videos later, and I had 48 subscribers. Perhaps you can relate to this yourself, but I was uploading so many videos and putting in so much effort into improving my craft of making content, but feeling like I was making very little progress towards those YouTube metrics of reaching 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours. And sure enough, it was at this point, about 2.5 months into it, I decided I'm giving up my channel. The way I saw it, I wasn't actually getting to just play the game that I love so much anymore, because anytime I logged in, it was just to record content for the next video. The videos that I did get done and upload, I would ask for feedback from my 48 subscribers, and I would usually get very little to none in the process. And finally, I was also getting very burned out trying to keep up with an upload schedule of a video every 2 to 3 days. See, when I started my channel, I didn't go into it with the hopes of making money, but I had kind of had this goal in the back of my mind that maybe, just maybe, I could get to the point and be monetized where YouTube ad revenue would pay for my subscription to this game that I enjoy so much. I know, big dreams, right? I need like 20 bucks a month so I can play my game. So after I decided to quit my Dofus channel, there was a turning point that occurred. After uploading consistently every 2 to 3 days, which means basically every night I was working on making videos and making content, rendering, editing, uploading, and moving right on to the next one, suddenly stopping all that and having all that extra time felt really weird. I found myself still thinking about the channel, still going to my channel analytics and still just looking at the stuff. I wanted to see if those YouTube check marks and those numbers were still green or if they had gone gray or red. I just couldn't help it. It was at this point that I learned a very valuable lesson. 3 weeks went by, and you know what? The channel kept growing. No uploads. I didn't have a Twitter account, didn't have a Discord, wasn't posting anything on Reddit at all. I had literally done nothing with this channel for 21 days except for look at my YouTube analytics. But you know what? Here and there, every couple days, got a few more subscribers. What I learned during that time was this: I didn't need to push so hard to grow the channel. Sometimes we get to looking at those YouTube analytics and we think, okay, the first thing we gotta do is we gotta get 1,000 subscribers and we gotta get 4,000 watched hours. Those are two really big numbers that we are suddenly shooting for. We have very little to no control over it. But when you got these big goals of 1,000 and 4,000 and you're already in a category on YouTube that you know is a very niche, you begin to think, are there even enough people interested in this subject that I could grow to the point of being monetized? Or do I just suck? Am I horrible at this? If you are in a niche category here on YouTube, if you're struggling to get your channel to grow, or perhaps you're just getting ready to step into a channel that you know is going to be in a very niche market, here's my best advice that I have for you. Pace yourself. Take your time. Treat your channel more like a marathon than a sprint. You can upload a video every single day. You could upload a video every couple of hours if you want to, but it's not necessarily going to guarantee you success. If you pace yourself and go at a more reasonable rate, 1, you'll keep your sanity, and 2, you'll produce better content. Focus on that. Try to put out good quality material. Don't just try to shove everything out there at one time. You want to make sure that the content you put on your channel is stuff that people are going to want to watch. And if you look tired, sound exhausted, and sound like you're not even having fun with what you're doing, very few people will stick around no matter how many videos you put out there. So near the end of December of 2019, I decided to pick the channel back up, but try to go at it at a much more reasonable pace. January 8th, 2020, I finally had my first 100 subscribers. The 15th, about a week later, I had my 200 subscribers. And exactly 2 weeks later from there, I had 300 subscribers on my channel. About 64 videos, and 7 months later, I finally met all the YouTube metrics to become monetized. And that first month of monetization, I made 87 cents. Oh my goodness. But you know what? That was the biggest 87 cents I'd ever worked for. It was a big accomplishment for me. I became monetized on April 28th. So it was the tail end of the market. You know, you're only going to get so much with 2 days of a month. So if you weren't aware, YouTube doesn't pay you until you at least cross the threshold of $100. So for instance, in April, I only made 87 cents. So until I make another $99.13, I won't actually get a paycheck. But since I became monetized at the end of April, I now had to wait for the entire month of May to try to figure out, okay, how much am I actually going to make in a month? And in May, I made $39.09. Score, baby. $39. Remember, my goal was just to be able to pay for my subscription fee for the game that I love and enjoy so much. I needed about $20 a month. Well, $39, I've made it. I've done it. However, I haven't been paid for it yet because remember, you have to pass $100. So in June, I made $49, and in July, I made $39 more, which finally landed me my first Google AdSense paycheck of $127. Obviously, not an income, not even a really good side hustle, but I officially got paid to play the game I love, Dofus. That was such a cool feeling. It was at this point that I began to think, I would love to make at least $100 a month so I could count on a check every month from YouTube instead of having to wait until maybe I cross over every 2 to 3 months. Didn't know if that could happen, but in August I made $43 more. But it was also in August that I started to try to learn and research about YouTube. I was fascinated by the subject and I wanted to know, how do the full-time content creators get there? What is it that they're doing? So I started learning about good YouTube practices, started to learn about SEOs, tips and tricks on how to make good thumbnails. And always, even today, I continue to work on how to improve the content on my channel. Presentation, editing, confidence, all this stuff I was trying to really delve into and learn and grow because I knew I was in a niche market, but I wanted to see if I could get to that $100 a month. So in YouTube, it typically takes about a month before you can really gauge the effects or progress for things that you have made to your channel. So even though I started researching all this in August, I started making those changes, and sure enough, in September, I did get a slight bump to $58, which was now my biggest month yet. At over $50, that means I would be getting a paycheck every 2 months. Closer to what I wanted, but I wasn't there yet. October was the first month where all of these things that I had started to work on and change and implement really started to show, and I jumped to $85 in the month of October. November, I hit $94, and in December, no lie, I made $99.94. I mean, really? I missed it by 6 cents? Oh. So my totals for 2020. I'll point out that everything that I mentioned above is strictly from the ad revenue. Over the course of the 2020, I made maybe about $30 through donations and super chats. And in December, I got my very first channel member. So even though they were there, that revenue didn't actually come in until 2021. But my grand total for 2020, being monetized from May through December, I made $527 on my channel. No, my family can't live on that. I can't live on that. That's no job. But I get to play the game that I love for free now. Not only that, but January also took a substantial jump, becoming by far my biggest month yet. And I finally reached my goal of making over $100 a month
with my small niche gaming channel. So for those of you who are just starting, or maybe even struggling with your channel, you're staying up late, you're sacrificing sleep, you're putting loads of passion into these amazing videos and uploading them for the world to see. If this is something that you are passionate about and something that you want to do, don't give up. Practice, learn, keep trying. Figure out what's going to work in your niche. I've learned a great deal over 2020 as I continued to practice, learn, and tweak and try things on my channel. And that's the goal that I have behind these YouTube videos that I'm making, is I want to help other small niche gaming channels get started and grow. If that sounds like something you would like, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you know when these videos go live. Now, I still have much to learn myself. I'm still trying things, and I have no intention of stopping trying to make my channel grow as big as possible. When I first started, I wondered if I could even get 100 subscribers. Then I wondered if the player base in the English community was even big enough to hit those YouTube metrics. Then I wondered if I could make enough to play my game for free. Then I wondered, could this channel grow big enough to get me a monthly check? You know what? Who knows what I might wonder next? Until next time, you all be safe out there. I will see you on the next one.